Have you ever wondered why some women treat certain men with unbelievable respect, while treating others like they're disposable? Why one man gets devotion, softness, admiration, while another gets attitude, distance, and excuses? Have you ever asked yourself why a woman can act cold, distant, arrogant, even cruel toward a man who worships her, yet suddenly becomes soft, feminine, and almost addicted to the one man who doesn't chase her? It doesn't make sense at first. You look at the situation and think, how is this fair? Why does she reward the man who does the least and punish the man who gives the most? Why is it that the men who pour their loyalty, consistency, effort, and devotion into a woman are often the ones who get ignored, taken for granted, or quietly replaced? And why are the men who maintain their distance, the men who stay focused on their mission, the men who don't rearrange their entire life for her, the very same men she becomes obsessed with? And here's the part that truly haunts men. Women rarely, and I mean rarely, admit the truth behind this behavior. They'll say it's about compatibility, or timing, or vibes. But the real reason is something far darker, far more primitive, far more uncomfortable to accept. Today, I'm going to reveal something most men never hear in their entire lifetime. A truth that your father never taught you, your teachers never explained, and society actively hides from you. A truth so uncomfortable, so brutally honest, so psychologically raw, that if your worldview is fragile, you're going to feel it in your chest like a punch. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't a small insight. It isn't a cute relationship tip. It isn't a motivational message. This is a dark psychological reality about women. Not all women, but enough that once you see it, you will start recognizing it everywhere. In your past relationships, in your current situation, in your conversations, in your heartbreaks, in your confusion, in every moment when you felt invisible without understanding why. And once you understand this truth, you'll finally see why modern dating feels upside down, why the good men suffer while the toxic ones seem to win, why the men who give the most often receive the least, why the men who try the hardest usually get the shortest end of the stick. You'll understand why so many good men feel invisible, why so many relationships crumble, and why the same painful patterns keep repeating in your life like a curse you can't break. This is View at your own risk territory, not because the information is dangerous, but because it will change the way you see women forever. Because once you see this secret, you will never unsee it. The introduction to the secret, the part most men never understand. Let me start with a story not about a woman, but about a man. James lived in London. A good guy, handsome enough, stable job, loyal as hell, the type of man who would walk across the city at 2 a.m. just to bring a woman medicine if she said she wasn't feeling well. He met a woman named Emily, and within weeks, he was hooked. He thought he finally found his person. He did everything right. He texted first. He planned dates. He gave compliments. He listened. He cared. And yet, the more he gave, the colder she became. She took hours to reply. She canceled plans. She said things like, "I'm just not ready for anything serious," while still expecting his attention, his energy, his availability. Then something strange happened. Emily met another man, Daniel. Daniel barely gave her half the attention James did. Daniel canceled on her. Daniel replied whenever he felt like. Daniel didn't chase, didn't compliment overly, didn't beg for time. And suddenly, Emily became obsessed. She lit up when Daniel texted. She rearranged her schedule for him. She dressed her best for him. She waited for his messages like oxygen. James was heartbroken, confused, angry at himself, angry at her, and angry at the world. He kept asking, what does he have that I don't? Why her with him, but not with me? And here's where the dirty secret begins. It's not that Daniel was a better man. It's not that James was lacking. The truth was far more uncomfortable. Women do not respond to kindness the way men think they do. They respond to psychological tension. And this right here, is the dirty secret you came to learn. Dirty secret 1. Women are drawn to the man they can't fully predict. This is going to hurt, because you've been taught your whole life to be predictable. School told you to follow rules. Parents told you to be polite. Society told you to be a nice guy. Movies told you to be romantic, emotional, expressive. But here's the truth. Predictability kills attraction. Uncertainty creates emotional gravity. When a woman can read you like a children's book, When she knows you'll always reply immediately. When she knows she can cancel on you and you'll still be there. When she knows no matter how she treats you, you will beg for her affection. Her primitive brain tells her, this man is safe, but he is not valuable. Why? Because value is always tied to scarcity. Diamonds are valuable because they're rare. Gold is valuable because it's limited. Men who respect themselves are valuable because they're not easily accessed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women chase emotional stimulation more than stability, not because they're manipulative, but because the female brain is wired to seek intensity, surprise, unpredictability, traits linked to powerful, confident, dominant men throughout history. This is why the emotionally unavailable guy gets chased. This is why the busy guy becomes attractive. This is why the man with a mission stands out. A man who is unpredictable is not toxic. He is simply not controlled by her, and that creates desire. Dirty secret 2. Women test the men they secretly respect. Here is the part most men absolutely hate hearing. The moment a woman starts liking you, she begins testing you. Not consciously, not maliciously, but biologically. Women test because they need to know. Is this man strong enough to lead me? Is he emotionally stable? Is he confident if I pull away a little? Can he handle pressure? She might delay replies. She might act a bit cold. She might question your intentions. She might challenge your boundaries. Men who have weak self-esteem fail instantly. They panic. They overtext. They over-explain. They beg. They chase harder. And just like that, respect collapses. Attraction collapses. Interest collapses. Because nothing repels a woman faster than a man who can be emotionally controlled. A man who reacts loses. A man who responds wins. Here is the dirty part. Women do not test men they don't care about. If she never tests you, she never saw you as a real option. The tests are how she filters boys from men, followers from leaders, emotional children from masculine adults. When a woman tests you, she isn't trying to push you away. She's trying to see if you're strong enough to stay. Dirty secret 3. Women value the man who values himself above her. This one is the most painful for men who are raised to be nice. Most men are taught, put her first, make her your world, do anything to keep her. But here is the reality. The moment you make a woman your entire purpose, she loses attraction, not because she's selfish, but because she knows something is wrong. A man who centers his life around a woman is a man without a mission. And a man without a mission is unstable, insecure, and collapses under pressure. A terrible partner for long-term safety. Women deeply instinctively desire a man who has direction, has ambition, has a backbone, has discipline, has boundaries, has pride, has a life beyond her. The dirty secret is this. She feels safest with the man who doesn't need her, but chooses her. Not the man who worships her. Not the man who chases her. Not the man who sacrifices his self-respect for her attention. A woman feels most attracted when she knows, this man is valuable with or without me. I'm lucky to be chosen. Men think love is giving everything. Women feel love toward the man who gives from a position of strength, not desperation. Dirty secret 4. Women are turned off by the men they can control. Here's where it gets brutally honest. Women love influence but despise control. If she can control your emotions, your time, your decisions, your mental state, you instantly drop in value. Why? Because women are wired to look for leadership in men. Not dominance, not dictatorship, but leadership. The kind that comes from inner strength, emotional stability, clear boundaries, strong identity, self-respect, decisiveness. A man who allows himself to be emotionally controlled by a woman is telling her he cannot control himself. And a man who cannot control himself cannot protect or lead anyone. Women test control constantly. Does she get a reaction if she pulls away? Does he crumble if she disapproves? Does he change his entire personality just to keep her? Does he tolerate disrespect? Does he abandon his goals for her attention? If the answer is yes, the attraction dies. Because the uncomfortable truth is this. You cannot attract a woman you allow to dominate you emotionally. The moment she feels she can manipulate your moods, she loses respect. And once respect goes, affection follows. Dirty secret. A woman's attraction is emotional, not logical. Men fall in love with their eyes. Women fall in love with their emotions. A woman can logically know you're a good man, but still not feel anything. A woman can logically know another guy is trouble, but feel everything. This is why she rejects the perfect guy and chases the emotionally intense guy. Not because she's evil, but because her emotions decide first, her mind follows later. And here's the uncomfortable part. If you don't create emotional impact, you don't exist to her. Emotional impact can come from mystery, ambition, challenge, confidence, self-respect, independence, emotional control, a powerful presence, a mission-driven mindset, a strong masculine identity. When you bring these traits, you become unforgettable. When you lack them, you become replaceable. Dirty Secret 6. Women are attracted to the version of you you haven't become yet. This is one of the harshest truths in modern dating, and the one that punches a man right in his ego. Women are not attracted to who you are today. They are attracted to who you're becoming. Not the man standing in front of them, but the man you are evolving into. The man you're building quietly in the background. The man you're committed to becoming even when no one is watching. They fall for potential, but not the cheap delusional kind. Not words, not promises, not fake hustle culture nonsense. They fall for real movement, real ambition, real growth, real evolution. A man who is consistently leveling up physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, becomes magnetic in a way that's almost instinctual. Women sense direction the way animals sense weather changes. They feel when a man is moving forward in life. They can see the silent fire in his eyes. They can sense the discipline in his habits. They can feel the weight of his purpose even if he never talks about it. That movement and that upward trajectory creates a gravitational pull. It makes a woman curious first, then intrigued, then attracted, then invested. But here's the part men don't want to hear. A man who stays the same, who settles, who gets comfortable, who becomes predictable, who stops evolving, who chooses laziness over growth, slowly becomes invisible. He stops generating emotional energy. He stops being interesting. He stops being desirable. He stops being a source of excitement. Women don't lose interest suddenly. They lose interest gradually. Every day you stop growing. Meanwhile, a man who grows, even slowly, quietly, privately, keeps becoming more and more attractive, because growth is proof of strength, proof of discipline, proof of potential, proof of leadership, proof that he is going somewhere. And women want to attach themselves to a man who is going somewhere, not because they are selfish, not because they are gold diggers, not because they want to use you, but because growth is masculine, movement is masculine, direction is masculine, ambition is masculine. Masculinity is not about perfection, it is about progression. You do not need to be the best man in the world. You just need to be the man who refuses to stay the same. The man who evolves is the man who wins. And the moment you stop growing is the moment she stops seeing the future in you. Dirty Secret 7. Women love the man who can walk away. This is the final secret, and the one that separates boys from men, the fragile from the unshakable, the lost from the legendary. A man who cannot walk away is a man who has already surrendered. Long before the breakup, long before the argument, long before she leaves, he loses the moment he becomes afraid of losing her. Women can sense that fear instantly. They don't need to be told. They don't need evidence. They don't need a confession. They can feel it in your tone, in your reactions, in the way you text back too fast, in the way you tolerate disrespect, in the way you bend your boundaries just to stay in her life. And the moment she senses that fear, the moment she realizes you're terrified to lose her, something in her heart shuts off. Attraction dies. Respect fades. Interest dissolves, because a man ruled by fear cannot protect, cannot lead, cannot stand firm in himself. Why does it kill attraction? Because it silently reveals something brutal. He has no alternatives. He has no options. He has no confidence. He has no backbone. He has tied his entire identity to her. He is operating from fear, not strength. He is dependent, not secure. He is attached, but not grounded. He is motivated by anxiety, not purpose. And a woman cannot be deeply attracted to a man who collapses the moment she pulls away. She cannot love a man who makes her his lifeline. She cannot trust a man who abandons himself the moment she becomes distant. Because if you cannot walk away, It means you have placed her above your self-respect. And when a woman realizes she is worth more to you than you are to yourself, that is the moment you lose her. But here's the paradox. The man who can walk away, calmly, confidently, without rage, without guilt, without threats, without trying to convince or beg, is the man she becomes irresistibly drawn to. Why? Because self-control is rare, self-worth is rare, a backbone is rare. True confidence, not the loud, fake, performative kind, but the quiet, grounded, I know who I am energy, is almost extinct. A man who can walk away is not cold. He is not heartless. He is not arrogant. He doesn't walk away because he wants to hurt her, prove something, or play a game. He walks away because he refuses to abandon himself for love. And that is the most attractive energy a man can carry. A man who can walk away understands. I want you, but I don't need you. I choose you, but I don't chase you. I care for you, but I will never lose myself for you. I can love you deeply, but I will remain whole even without you. I can open my heart, but my dignity stays intact. I can be good to you, but I will not shrink to keep you. This type of man is powerful because he isn't controlled by her affection, or her distance, or her mood, or her validation, or her approval. He is controlled by his principles, not his panic, by his standards, not his emotions, by his direction, not her reactions. And women feel that energy instantly. It's not something you say. It's something you radiate. Something in your posture, your tone, your silence, your presence. Women don't need to guess when they can sense a man who keeps himself intact. When a woman meets a man who can walk away, she respects him. She pays attention to him. She feels challenged by him. She invests more deeply in him because she knows he will never become a prisoner of her attention. Walking away isn't a move. It's a mindset. It's a masculine clarity that says, I am willing to stay, but I'm not afraid to leave. And that simple truth is what makes a man unforgettable. Not because he's trying to prove he doesn't care, but because he has built a life, a mission, an identity that is bigger than any single relationship. A man who can walk away is a man who has something more powerful than romantic desire. Self-respect. And self-respect is the strongest form of masculine attraction in the world. The final truth, the one you're ready to hear now. After everything you've heard today, let me give you the truth that ties all of this together. Women desire the man who chooses himself first, not because he's selfish, not because he's distant, not because he's cold, but because a man who chooses himself is a man capable of choosing her from a place of abundance, not desperation. A man who chooses himself sets standards. He has boundaries. He has direction. He has discipline. He has emotional strength. He has purpose. He has drive. A woman cannot love a man she does not respect, and she cannot respect a man who abandons himself. So the secret, the dirty truth, the uncomfortable reality is this. A woman's deepest attraction is not for the man who gives her everything, but for the man who gives her something rare, a man whose life is bigger than her, a man whose mission is stronger than his desire, a man whose identity cannot be shaken by love or loss, a man who remains grounded, stable, calm, and whole. This is the type of man she remembers. This is the type of man she respects. This is the type of man she desires. And this is the type of man you must become. Not for her, but for you. Because once you become that man, everything in your life changes. Women treat you differently. Men treat you differently. Your career grows. Your confidence rises. Your standards shift. Your presence becomes magnetic. You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop begging. You stop tolerating nonsense. You stop living for approval. You start living with power, with purpose, with self-respect, with masculine clarity, with emotional strength. And that is what creates real attraction. Not tricks, not games, not manipulation, but transformation. Become the man who walks with calm confidence. Become the man who respects himself first. Become the man who can walk away. Become the man who chooses his mission over validation. Become the man who is bigger than his emotions. Do that, and the world, including women, will respond to you differently. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.